So this just happened a few minutes ago, and it was a long time in the waiting. Many fans were wondering where Nike has been with any Caitlin Clark merchandise whatsoever. And now for the moment many people have been waiting for. Caitlin Clark has dropped her signature logo for her product line.
And here's what you got, folks. The CC, as it unveiled and Nike showed us, it showed us that they're prepared to pursue the billion-dollar revenue that Caitlin Clark is going to bring to Nike.
Caitlin Clark is solely to blame for the recent breakdown of Nike's website. The day that Nike servers were unable to manage Caitlin Clark will go down in history. What transpired after that blue and yellow logo t-shirt was released at precisely midnight was unheard of.
Thanks to Nike, the shirt is available, but it's not available just yet.
We're talking about sales figures that made Jordan releases appear sluggish, website crashes, bot attacks, and resellers generating thousands in a matter of minutes. Today, we'll examine how $40 t-shirt turned into the most sought-after sporting goods item in history and why Nike executives are referring to this as their largest launch to date. You're alive. As usual, we're discussing Caitlin Clark with you live on WNK. Nike.com is being refreshed by millions of fans. With their credit cards ready, their fingers are hovering over their keyboards. At midnight, the Caitlin Clark logo t-shirt goes live. Nike servers begin smoking in a matter of seconds. Literally seconds.
We're live on WNIK, and as usual, we're talking about Caitlin.
Nike's infrastructure, which manages billions of dollars in yearly sales, totally crumbled due to the extreme increase in internet traffic. There are error messages everywhere. People are being ejected from the checkout process. At the same time, the Nike app crashed. According to reports, Nike's IT divisions were in full crisis mode.
And only imagine it's going to get sold out lickety-split. Caitlin Clark was first signed to Nike in April of 2024, so it took about a year and a half or so.
It has C's that interconnect. Her mark is a symbol of the court's ever-increasing range. I'll give you numbers that will blow your head off. According to Nike sources, they had more than 10 million site visits in the first minute and 60 seconds. That's more visitors than the majority of websites receive in a year. Nike apparently processed more than 500,000 orders in the first hour before the website failed. We're talking about $20 million in income in an hour at $40 for adults and $35 for children. And that's exactly what passed before to the collision.
There's interlocking C's. Her mark is emblematic of ever-expanding range on the...
Compare that to earlier records. It took LeBron a week to reach those statistics after the release of his first Nike shoe. Jordan Retro may sell 100,000 pairs in a single day upon its release. Signature shoes were outsold by Clark's t-shirt. Professional resellers were having the time of their lives with sophisticated bots and several accounts. Some resellers reportedly secured hundreds of shirts, while normal fans struggled with failed websites.
Good. Got the pants, got the charms, necklace, zipper, everything.
These shirts were selling for $200, $300, and even $500 on StockX, eBay, and GRA minutes after the drop. That is a markup of 1,250%. Sneaker King 23, a reseller, is said to have made $50,000 on Clark shirts alone in a single night. The secondary market got crazy. The Clark logo tee saw more trades in its initial day of sales than any other non-shoe product in StockX's history. We are discussing more than just Supreme drops and Travis Scott merchandise.
Man, everybody sure does love Caitlin Clark. That logo's okay. I would buy one of her shirts. I don't care about Indiana Fever or the WNBA that much, nor do I watch games, but it's a pretty cool logo. What do you think?
This was not a phenomenon exclusive to the United States. The world went insane. The same turmoil reappeared when the shirts were released in Europe at 6 a.m. local time. Nike's servers in Europe crashed once more. The situation was much more dire in Asia, where Clark has a sizable fan base. The clothes were listed for 3,000 yuan on Chinese resale marketplaces. That is more than $400. In Tokyo, Japanese fans were setting up camp outside Nike stores in the hopes of getting a chance to purchase one. Mexico, Canada, and Australia. The shirt immediately sold out in every market where Nike released it. According to reports, Nike's worldwide logistics crew was working around the clock to manage the volume of orders.
It looks really unique, I think it's very creative for Caitlin Clark to come up with something like this. And I just enjoy all of it, it's like aura.
We love it! It's simple, yet it speaks a lot.
I love it so much.
Hey, this is what Nike was unprepared for. They believed they were ready. According to sources, Nike produced 2 million pieces for the first release. 2 million. Although it was more than they produced for the majority of Jordan releases, it was still insufficient. All of the shirts were gone in 3 hours. Nike's plants in Indonesia and Vietnam started producing more right away. Employees were asked to work emergency shifts. For emergency production, the corporation reportedly placed an order for an additional 5 million units. In order to give Clark merchandise priority, shipping companies were granted quadruple prices. All that was being placed onto FedEx and UPS trucks were Clark shirts. The supply chain was in complete disarray. At 3 a.m, executives at Nike headquarters were holding emergency meetings. According to reports, the CEO was awakened and informed of the circumstances. This was more than just a product launch that went well. No one had anticipated this phenomena. The marketing group was rushing to take advantage of the momentum. Social media managers were working nonstop to address irate clients who were unable to purchase shirts. Wait times on customer service lines were 5 hours. Here's the problem, though. The following day, pre-market trading saw an 8% increase in the price of Nike shares. When investors witnessed this mayhem, they said, "This is gold." Based on the release of a single t-shirt, Wall Street analysts were raising Nike's stock rating. Whatever you name it, Twitter or X went nuclear. Hashtag Caitlin Clark globally. Nike was the most popular brand. Not just in athletics, not just in the United States, but worldwide.
Interesting, because when I looked at it, it had an international presence, the CC. And you look at it, are we talking about Coach? Are we talking about Louis Vuitton? Are we talking about Gucci? The CC is a global international brand that will don on top products all throughout the world.
Videos of people attempting to purchase the shirt on TikTok received hundreds of millions of views. 50 million people saw a video of a girl sobbing because she couldn't get one. Influencers were willing to spend $1,000 on a single shirt in exchange for posting about it. Goddamn posts from the fortunate handful who were able to get shirts flooded Instagram. Celebrities were sharing on social media that they had tried and failed to obtain one. According to reports, Drake ordered his team to get 100 jerseys from vendors. Nike was facing positive issues, while their rivals were experiencing a catastrophe. According to reports, Adidas executives were holding urgent meetings to discuss how they lost out on Clark. On the day of the introduction, Under Armour's shares fell 3%. Angel Reese's company, Reebok, was horrified to see that Clark's t-shirt was creating more talk than whole shoe lines. According to reports, Puma executives were requesting explanations for why Breanna Stewart's clothing wasn't selling as well. The same question was being asked by every sports brand worldwide. How did Nike use a t-shirt to do this? They had Caitlin Clark as the solution. The celebrity response was outrageous. LeBron James shared a photo of himself sporting the shirt along with the phrase, "Respect greatness." In just 1 hour, that post received 5 million likes.
It's special. I mean, there's very few people who get the opportunity to say that they have a logo and to make the impact that she makes, not just, I think, in the sport, but globally, just by being who she is. She's a connector. She brings people together. And, I think for us to be a part of that, and whether it's, as simple as being able to celebrate all of these things with her, or, as much as walking out into the arena and seeing the whiteout on the chairs out there, it's really cool. And it's really special and shoot, I'm talking about it right now, and just feeling the intense gratitude for me personally, being in women's basketball, to be able to be a part of this moment and to celebrate with her.
At a Chiefs game, Taylor Swift was seen sporting the Clark trademark t-shirt beneath a jacket. Fans of Swifties and Clark banded together and almost brought down the internet. Following that sighting, searches for the clothing surged 2,000%. According to reports, Michael Jordan even called Nike executives to congratulate them on the launch. You know you've accomplished something exceptional when MJ is impressed with your good sales. However, depending on whether you're attempting to purchase, things can either grow better or worse. When the entire collection was released on October 1st, September appeared to be a warm-up. To provide consumers a chance to purchase, Nike had to put in place a lottery system. Each customer could only buy one item. IP addresses that used bots had to be prohibited. Digital warfare was involved. Let's discuss money. According to analysts, Clark's logo line brought in more than $500 million in its first month of sales. Resale is not included in it. That amounts to $500 million from hoodies and t-shirts. To put that in context, the WNBA as a whole made about $200 million in revenue in 2024. More than twice as much money was produced from Clark's products as the league as a whole. Revenue increased by 15%, according to Nike's quarterly financial report. The Clark collection was expressly mentioned by an executive as a key motivator. For a $150 billion firm, one athlete's product line made a big difference. Sales are not the only issue here. This relates to a cultural moment. Men's sports apparel is outsold by women's. Unprecedented. A branding tee is starting to be more sought for than limited edition Jordans. Until Caitlin Clark, it was impossible. The garment was featured in fashion magazines. Hypebeast, GQ, and Vogue. Everybody was wearing sports t-shirts as if they were fashionable. The Clark emblem evolved into a prestige symbol. Kids were fighting over clothing in high schools. Students were swapping shirts for PlayStations, concert tickets, and even vehicles in illicit markets on college campuses. This went beyond commerce. There was a movement here. Nike has set records in every market in which it operates. It became the fastest-selling Nike product ever in China. During World Cup years, it outsold soccer jerseys in Europe. The Prime Minister's office reportedly called Nike to guarantee extra supply because Canada ran out of stock so quickly. When the website crashed, it became a national news topic in Australia. In order to give citizens the opportunity to purchase a shirt, Japan established a lottery system. Police were in charge of controlling crowds at Nike outlets in South Korea. This was chaos on a worldwide scale. With this level of demand, the bogus began to pour in. In less than a week, fake Clark shirts were all over the place. New York street sellers, internet marketplaces, and even some websites that appear authentic. Nike had to start a procedure for authentication. They used QR codes to make unique tags. To keep an eye out for fakes, they employed more security. The FBI's division that deals with counterfeit goods became involved. Containers containing counterfeit Clark goods from abroad were being seized by customs officers. 3 counterfeit shirts were thought to be in circulation for every authentic shirt that was sold. The illicit market for Clark gear grew to be $1 billion issue. Other WNBA players were staring in shock at what was happening. A'ja Wilson, who owns a pair of Nike trainers, witnessed a t-shirt outselling her entire collection. In contrast to Clark's product, Sabrina Ionescu's appeared to be motionless.
Here's the problem, though.
The jerseys were even being purchased by Clark's rivals. Players competing against her were sharing photos of themselves with her emblem. It went beyond rivalry.